Henry, Henry, it's time for your news report.
What? Now?
Yes, now.
Out of my way! Sure the lizard coming through! Identical designer hat embarrassment at Moose Party. And bubblegum chewing competition. Giraffe wins by a neck. But now, our top story. Okay, camels almost always live in the desert and are really well equipped for living with all that sand. How am I doing so far?
So far, so good, Henry.
I am? Cool. So, camels, yeah. What many people don't know is that a long time ago, the deserts had a lot more water in them, which meant that everybody had to get around in boats, and these boats were sailed by the camels, which is why camels are called ships of the desert. But then, the weather changed. There was no more rain, and the sun got much hotter, so the water turned to sand. The camels' boats couldn't sail anymore, and the camels were reduced to carrying their passengers one at a time on their backs.
Are you sure about this, Henry?
Sure, I'm sure.
Okay, so why do they have those humps then?
That's easy. They use one of them to store fuel in. It can be a long way between gas stations in the desert.
I hate to think what they use the other one for.
It's for when they run out of fuel, they just pop open the other hump and pull out their fold-up bicycles. How environmentally friendly can you get? So now you know the truth about camels. And that's straight from the lizard's mouth. So do I get an A or what?
Absolutely and definitely not.
Didn't I even get one bit right?
Not even one, Henry.
Yes.
Many dogs live in really big family groups. Uncles, aunts, cousins, all living together and helping each other out. How am I doing so far?
Pretty good, really.
Yeah. Cool. Now, once upon a time, a family of prairie dogs lived in a small town in the desert. But then, one day, when they were digging the dirt burrow, they struck gold. And suddenly, prairie dogs from all over the world flew in with their picks and shovels, all looking to lay their fortunes. Soon the small town had become an enormous city with hotels and bars and cattle wrestling and gambling and cowboys. And the families never saw each other because all the dads were out looking for gold while the moms had to work and look after the house and bring up the children. But then the dads found so much gold that they could afford to send the children to summer camp and hire lizards to do the housework. And
Henry, stop!
I guess I don't get anything, huh?
Not even a C, Henry.
Didn't I even get one thing right?
Not even one.
Okay. So animals, especially birds, just seem to know exactly what time of year it is, when to have babies, when to migrate and stuff, and most people think this is because they have a natural alarm clock inside them. How am I doing so far?
So far, so good, Henry.
I am? Cool. However, most people would be wrong. In fact, birds never used to be able to tell the time. They never even used to go south for the winter until they discovered that you can tell the time by using the sun.
Wait a minute, Henry.
Unfortunately, sundials were real heavy, and only the really big birds like eagles could migrate because they were the only ones that could carry them. Then, some birds started migrating in flocks so they could carry the sundials between them with some rope, but it was still hard work, so they invented little wrist-sized sundials. Yeah! The only trouble was that birds don't have wrists, so they invented the clock. But then, they were back to the old problem. I mean, have you seen the size of grandfather clocks? But then, some bird scientists came up with the idea of miniaturized electronic clocks, which was a great idea, except they couldn't afford the 10,000 miles of power cable. Of course, they could have used batteries, but they still would have had to carry a month's supply of batteries. They tried solar-powered clocks, but that meant they couldn't migrate at night. So in the end, they invented central heating and gave up trying to migrate and spent their winters inside watching TV instead. And that's straight from the lizard's mouth. So do I get an A or what?
Not even an or what?
Didn't I even get one bit right?
Not even one, Henry.
Right, okay. So, gibbons, right? Well, they sing because they are the grade 8 romantics. Yeah, the male gibbons sing to their girlfriends. How am I doing so far?
Pretty good, really.
I am? Cool. So anyway, one day some of these gibbons were sitting in the jungle when a big-time record company executive heard them and signed them up. Soon they were #1 in the charts and making their first film, Giving You All My Lovin'. They stayed in all the top hotels, dined in fancy restaurants, and partied with the stars. By now, they couldn't go anywhere without being recognized, and they soon began to miss their girlfriends and the simple jungle life. The argument started, and then they split up to pursue solo careers. But the good times were over, and eventually they all retired back to the jungle where the only people they sang for were their girlfriends. And that's straight from the lizard's mouth. So, did I get an A or what?
Well, you certainly get an A for effort. That was nearly right.
Cool. But where did I go wrong?
Well, kind of near the start.